I'm gonna let them keep guessing.
You got a son, gang.
How you know?
You too relaxed. You got a son. Yeah, the daughter, man. You be pulling your hair out right now trying to figure this shit out. You be DMing me your face. I told everybody I'm not gonna tell them the gender. I need your help.
I'm still
I
leaving
need some
me.
advice.
You said you need some advice?
No, that's how you would have been.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
I could be. I could just be on live, just making sure I'm straight. In order to make sure this live goes smoothly, make sure my internet presence smoothly. Then as soon as I get off,
Gang got a son. It's okay, man. Salute. We see you.
We'll see.
What's up, man? Talk to me. What's going on?
But yeah, man. So, first and foremost, I want to ask you, and I'm pretty sure for the people who don't know, where did the name Phase One come from? We need to know that. What does that mean?
Okay, I'll keep it simple. I was 13 years old. I had a dream. Somebody came to me and said, "Yo, you're Phase One. Your name is Phase One." So when I woke up, I wrote it down. It was Phaseone, and then it just came to me to switch the spelling of phase to Faiseone. I remember writing in blue ink on white construction paper, and then it became an acronym. It stands for Forever and Inspiration Seeking Eternity. Omari never ends. And this was, again, 13 years old. I'm just getting out of 7th grade. So before then, I was Young Cosmic. And before that, I was Young Rage. You know what I mean? And all of that was warranted. Because if you would have heard my music back then, as I was definitely in a rage, but also I was in tune with what people are now calling the cosmos and the ether. So, yeah, it became Phase One. It was a mission. I understood that it was going to be a mission that needed to be carried out up to a certain point of time, an event. And I placed myself, Omari, who Phase One protects, because when you really are a divine love being, there are beasts, there are wolves, dragons out here waiting to devour you if you understand what I'm explaining to you, right? Because that's what they do to certain beings. I protect Omari through the force of Phase One, which means that the focus is placed on the task at hand, and Omari is able to sit at the center of all of it and govern it all as he's being fed what to do and told and taught what to do. Like I said in one of my lyrics, I say, I just do what I'm told. Omari gives that information to Phase One, and he comes out and he's like the machine in the Day the Earth Stood Still movie. You don't attack him, there's no reason for you, you know what I mean, to be worried. If you're moving in the right direction, there's also no reason for you to be worried. If you're moving out of order, that's the only time he's going to come to you. That's the only time your name going to be called. That's the only time you get stepped to. You understand? So that's what it is. It's a mission. Phase One, forever and inspiration, seeking eternity. Omari never ends. You go look at what Omari means, you understand a whole nother mission, because that's talking about a high priest or the highest priest. A lot of times I just say high priest so people don't think I'm doing the ego tripping thing. It's just these are the tones I was given. Omari, Shaman, and Hargrove. And Shaman or shaman was saying a healing man or a medicine man or a seer or a man of the sun. Sham, Shem, a shaman or shaman. And Omari is a warrior for one, but it also meant the highest priest. And Hargrove was saying of the grove, all right, connected to divine nature. So it's just a mission. It's all in people's tones. You better pay attention. You meet somebody and you find out what their name means. You better go look up what it means immediately. You meet somebody, you see what color they got on. You better know what that color means and know why and what day it was that you met them and what time you met them and what's the first word they said, what's the last word they said with y'all interaction. All right, because that'll be the difference between you walking with somebody that's going to seek to destroy you or walking with somebody that's going to seek to employ you. It's going to be two different realities, and a lot of people don't know that science. So you definitely pay attention to when somebody's born, what's the name they have with them, and what's the name they choose. You know what I mean? As they grow older and take on what people call nicknames, right? It was just speaking about picking away at an identity. Like if I say nick and pick at something, it's just tearing away at an identity that they may not want to still be there anymore. And people like their nickname more than their original name. And then you don't allow certain people to call you that nickname, or you don't allow certain people to call you your sacred name or the name that your mother or father gave you, right? And there's a difference. The sacred name you don't tell anybody except those who are most are sacred to you. And then the ones who have that name for you at birth, you may be like, yo, you can't call me the nickname. You understand that? So it's just power in names is my point. That's going to mean a lot as we continue to build or continue to build. But the point is, phase one was given to me by tone phonetically, and I understand more about what even the phase meant. It was up until I was like 20 something, maybe 22 years old, that I understood and remembered about Faisal, Sheikh Dawood Faisal, who came as a teacher to Dr. Melakazi York, a leader, a guider to Dr. Melakazi York as he was 12 years old, being placed in his rightful position to be the son of righteousness, right? And that's why I put in my book, Out of the Darkness, first shall be last shall be first, which was just an introduction to the Atbash cipher, which is a code that explains to you how to do the exact same thing I'm explaining. Take names, flip them around, and realize what the true meaning is. Like if I show you Baphomet with the Atbash cipher using the Hebrew Aleph Beta or alphabet, you'll find that it means Sophia. And Sophia would have been the one that fell into what was referred to as the demiurge world. And demiurge is saying what? Demi or semi, the half of you that is operating with the reptilian brain in control, or the animalistic nature in control. That's the urges. When people operate off of the urges or the lustful self, right? Which is what caused this place to be quarantined. When you hear people say, like I was talking to you earlier about Prison Planet, that's coming straight from Dr. Melakazi York. This place had to be quarantined because lust made people sick. It took over the body. It took over the brain, which is what the Baphomet emblem represents, by the way, because you'll realize that the Baphomet goat head, all right, is what? An animal. You understand? Needless to say. And you just have the torso as a human being, and then you have the hindquarters of an animal. So if you ask which one is in control or which one has most dominance, it would be the animal. But they try to say, oh, no, it's both. It's duality. And this is where you stop people at. Even when people say, yo, duality is as above, so below. Stop them there. That doesn't make mathematical sense, and it doesn't make scientific sense. And when I say mathematics, I'm just saying mathema, which means science, by the way. And science also means to know something. So if you really know what you're talking about, the sacred geometry has to come into play. The mathematics has to come into play. How is duality as above, so below? When you're looking at left and right. If I say, yo, I'm about to go left, you go right. Did we go the same direction?
Nope.
You there? Okay. If I say, you look up, I look down. Did we look the same way?
No.
Okay, let's give up and down a task. You beat this nigga up, I'm going to beat this other nigga down. Did we do the same thing to them? No. You
Yeah,
know,
no.
I know.
We still beat him up.
Yeah, I beat him up, you beat him down, or you beat him up, I beat him down. The point is, if I go up the stairs, you went down the stairs. All right, I played music upstairs. You fixed sandwiches downstairs. We're not doing the same thing. Is my point, right? So let's say as above, so below would mean what? We look at the simile as it's saying it's going to be the same way. If I say it'll be on earth as it is in heaven, that's correspondence. That's as above, so below. But that's the law of correspondence that takes you back to Heka. It takes you back to the six-pointed star science. Okay, because if you take and draw a six-pointed star and flip it upside down, you'll still have the six-pointed star. But if you take and draw the pentagram, flip it upside down, you don't have the same shape. They're not pointing in the same direction. As a matter of fact, you just went against the natural order because the spirit or the fifth element needs to be on top. You got your fire, your water, your earth, and what? Your shu or your air. All right. And then what happens? Your spirit being on top, being flipped, would mean that you just place your mind's eye down in the root. And that's what happened when people started to follow Baphomet because they were misled. And I don't know why people don't understand they can't be misled. And these same people say, oh, it's just a symbol. Then why are you using the symbol? What's the point? The point is there was somebody who called themselves Brother Panic, right? Brother Panic. He was literally telling you who he was with. Panic. All right, he was of Pan. And if you go look up where Panic came from, it came from the god Pan, which was a goat. All of the goats, Zazilla of Yom Kippur, all right, the scapegoat. You have Uncle Sam, who looks like a goat also. You got all the goats that align, the devil images of the goats. Why are the satanic people using that image? What's their purpose? What's the reason for them using it? It goes back into things being out of order. When you hear somebody scream, it causes disorder and chaos. And that's where you get the word panic, because Pan used to nap, and when he would awaken, he would let out a shriek. And people would be like, oh, shit, what is this? And it would cause them to be in a frenzy, just like what they did with what just happened in 2020. You understand? Where they said, oh, we have a national emergency, and let that siren off. and people started to be in a state of panic and fear.
Mm.
You understand that? So just my point is pay attention to tones, pay attention to people's names. You'll know who they are when you just look at our names. Who am I? What am I coming here to do? Phase one. Look at the acronym. I give you a whole code in it. Forever and inspiration. I'm here to inspire. Listen, inspire. Okay, everybody keep talking about the as above, so below. Forgot about the as without, so within. And a lot of people say, oh, just go within. That's a violation of the law of correspondence. You don't just go within, you have to also go without. That's the maxim, Pythagoras, right? You say, man, know thyself, and you will also understand what? About the cosmos or the universe beyond you, as within, so without. Okay, the same neurological pathways in your brain, they operate as the same lineup or design of the universe, as you may have seen in some of these pictures and images they put out on the web. You understand? So that's as above, so below, as within, so without. If I'm here to inspire, then it ends up in what? Spirit, or spiraling in. And if I'm spiraling in, I'm also what? Spiraling out. The law of correspondence. A lot of people forget the law, and they think that if I say, yo, it's time to walk in the true light, then I don't understand the science of darkness. I don't know what made them think that. In order for us to turn on the light, it had to first be what?
Dark.
Okay. And what people don't know or may not know on a grand scale is darkness and light are Masonic terms. They don't have anything to do with just the physical occurrence of allowing for a filament to be charged up so that you can see it glow. No, we're talking about whether or not you know a thing. And you can kick it like you know all day up and down. But if, let's say, it comes time to change an engine on a car, right, you have to switch out the engine for another engine to be placed in so that car can run correctly, right? And then I bring the car to you. You said you were the proper mechanic. You said you were the head mechanic. You said you were the top one who could do all of it. I bring it to you, and you don't know what to do. But you taught the great game. As a matter of fact, you might have got a lot of people to send in money based off of that great game you were talking, and then we asked you to show results, and you can't show results. You understand? Because you didn't know for real. And you don't have to know to talk. You could just sound like you know what you're talking about. You understand?
Yeah.
And you know that that's how a lot of people got ahead in this game. Listen to what I'm telling you. They talked as if they knew what they were speaking, but they just knew about what they were talking. They didn't know what they were talking about. One more time. They know about what they're talking. They don't know what they're talking about. It is not hard to sound like you know what you're talking, right? Why? Because all you have to do is regurgitate or replicate somebody that's already done it. The reason why they don't want phase one on a lot of these platforms is because I was touched by right knowledge in Uwapu. Before I was even born, my Umi was reading the books. My Uber was walking with Dr. Melakazi York. Physically, they were in the classes, physically there, paying attention. So was Bobby Hemmett, trying to catch all of the gems he could catch. Everybody was trying to get down to Tama Ray because they couldn't figure out how and why this one being, this central being, El Kut, this central being is placing all of these pieces of information, these jewels, on all these different four corners of this planet Earth. How was he doing that and covering all these grounds and speaking all these languages, producing all these books? They were dumbfounded. Yeah, that means when we found them, they was dumb. And then after they walked away with the impact that they received, they still found it in their own hearts. Oh, I've surpassed the man that I can't even figure out. They can't even figure him out, meaning they cannot put a mathematical equation to say this is who he is. They can't figure him out, meaning they don't have the mathema or the mathematics. What is math? All right, that's the truth, the balance. How does this balance out in the center? And the thematics is what this covers, all that is covered so that we can have the science. Or they don't have the mathematics of Dr. Melakazi York. So how dare they ever place themselves next to him? I have a question for anybody that says they're one of the elders. All we want to know is what is your name and which elder are you? All we want to know is who are you? And if your brother is Dr. Melakazi York, all right, so that we're going to address this really quickly because people would, hey, shout out to whoever made the video with the, who had my video with the song where it says, why would I scream out free Rashad Jamal? He wasn't screaming out free Doc. Shout out to whoever made that video because all you did was just brought more people to the true light. You may not have known, but the reason why a lot of people don't say my name, family, whoever made the video, is because it does not work against me. You can say Phase One is the most bitch ass nigga I ever seen in my life. He be riding unicorns and shit to the store. Niggas gonna be like, this nigga Phase One know where unicorns is at? And they gonna come to me. You cannot defeat green light with green light. Using my name and my tones is just gonna bring more green light. You don't understand that? So the point is, I never said Rashad Jamal didn't say free Dr. York. This shows me what type of followers y'all are. You didn't even listen to the video. In the video, it said, why would I say free Rashad Jamal? Why would I scream free Rashad Jamal? He wasn't screaming out free Doc. Y'all say he said free Dr. York. I say he wasn't screaming out free Doc. You know, screaming out means something from where I'm from. When you say we still screaming freedom, that means you putting work and action in, letting everybody know they in there and making it a point for everybody to get them up out of there. You would go as far as saying you will walk in the court and scream that shit to the judge themselves because they need to be up out of there. No, that's not what y'all did. That's not what a lot of y'all wannabe teachers did. Okay, what y'all did was y'all said he was in there and acted like it was over. Say, yeah, they locked up. Yeah, free Dr. York. And then what would y'all do? And free Larry Hoover and free Matulu. Well, guess what? Larry Hoover and Matulu already get press coverage. They already get called political prisoners in your communities. They already get looked at as if something happened wrong with the government. But as soon as Dr. Arcaze, your name come up, that's the only person where pleading guilty means you're guilty. That's the only person where the black man is not a target by the government system or the counterintelligence program. That's the only person where, oh, he was just a teacher, who he learned from, where he gets knowledge and information from. But y'all want to tell me that somebody who's literally repeating the sciences that are in one of his books, the Holy Tablets, is divine insight and channel his information from the ethers. And y'all don't question him. So let's get this on record. I don't want Rashad Jamal in prison, especially being I don't know whether or not he's innocent or guilty. And I never have said he's innocent or guilty. I don't want him in prison if he's innocent. I don't want something to happen to any of the brothers who even brought y'all to the true light, even if they were acting as if they were one of the ones that they know nothing about. We don't want them in prison for that. If you go and watch the movie Book of Clarence, right? I think Jay-Z was behind that. If I'm not mistaken, you can fact check me on that and you can go figure because Jay-Z is a student of Dr. Arcaze York, if you didn't know that, right? They were crucifying all the ones who were claiming they were the Messiah. And they also sought out to crucify the Messiah himself, okay? So in the last class by Dr. Arcaze York, he told everybody, y'all better go and study that story about Jesus being arrested, about Jesus being crucified, figure out about the secretary, the FBI, the GBI, everybody that was around. He said, you might not think this means anything now, right? But you better know this story or you're not going to know what happens when or what to do when everything happens. What's my point? Dr. Arcaze York never said he was Jesus. He said, ask me if I'm Jesus. No, I'm not Jesus. Dr. Arcaze York said on record, I am not the Messiah. He said, just like the Messiah, I'll teach like a Messiah. I'll be thought to be the Messiah. So you're telling me this person, this being, is not the Messiah. And he's done way more works than everybody put together. Who the hell is the Messiah? And he has the same story as the Messiah. And he's telling you he's not the Messiah. So go and figure what I'm saying. In that movie, they said, yo, all of the ones, they put out a hit, or order, and said everybody who's claiming to be the Messiah, they literally say in the movie, the false messiahs, lock them up. That's what they said. That's what they said. So before you say, why is Phase One up under these attacks? Because that's another thing that was being said. Is Phase One, I don't see Phase One under these attacks. They tried to kill me multiple times. I don't understand what attacks you think we're talking about. But not all of the leaders were handled the same way. Some of us, they'll try to kill. Some of us, they'll try to defame publicly and turn our own people against us. Some of us, they'll try to imprison. You're talking about leaders. Why does everybody want to go from leader to like one of the people who created the cosmos? Start with what you're doing. You're a leader. Start there. And if you have a brother who's also a leader, then here will be my question. Everybody got that from Dr. Arcaze York. The deeper science of the Anunnaki and the 24 elders. or the 23 elders, or the 25 seats, the 25th seat being Ellicott in the center, okay? You count the 23 in the Holy Tablets, while a lot of people are saying 23 elders. It's really 24 seats plus that other seat, which is 25 seats. And they're always shifting. So the question right now would be, okay, who's in the 19th seat? 19th elder would be Yanun, moving over into the 25th seat. Where is the person who's going to fill that particular seat? Who's the third elder, the fourth elder, and fifth elder right now? What is your name right now? What were your tones before? And what is your mission? Okay, I'm also trying to figure out how are y'all the creators of the cosmos all of a sudden when you were guiders, you were leaders, you led people to sciences, you had missions and tasks that each and every one of you, and why I'm saying you is if you ask phase one, are you one of the elders? Yeah, I'm one of the elders. Now ask me if I'm one of the 24. I don't know that. I haven't been told that. Because then when you make statements like that, then we have more questions to ask you. The same way there was somebody that was on the web saying, I am Melchizedek, I'm Melchizedek. And he didn't know his own story. I'm saying, you didn't read your own story? Well, I'm beyond all that. I'm beyond the skin. Well, you weren't, okay, you being beyond all of that, you didn't even read the story of the exact word you're using. Yo, why everybody want to jump to that? You're a leader. So the point is, we don't want him in jail. We don't want him locked up. I have the right to ask him, Farrakhan, or anybody else who claims that Dr. Malachi York is his brother, right? I have the right to ask all of them. Then why y'all leave him in there? Rashad Jamal, you built up a lot of following. Hey, we watched you. We paid attention to every move you made. We saw you. We remember when you called the women bitches because they didn't want to share. You said because they didn't want to participate in polygamy, that they had dropped in frequency and they became a bitch. Then we saw that. That hurt. That hurt our feelings because the women or the Mother Earth ones, the ones who are in tune with the Mother Earth, the original ones who interacted with the non-ether in the beginning, all right, the ones who received of the rays of the sun, Ra, in the beginning, where you had the eggs of the Mother Earth impregnated by the non-ether rays, all right, the double X chromosome, which gives us the six-pointed star if you put the two X's together. How could they ever be bitches because they don't want to share a being that isn't even supreme? The XY chromosome being is not a supreme being, at least not yet. That's why I said the evolution. Look at the word Eve, Evo, all right? Eva, Ava, life, living being will not be televised, all right? Meaning you will not be able to place this into a television and say this is where evolution is taking place. And because people are not watching television all the time now, they're all in their phones, you won't be able to look on somebody's Instagram live or TikTok video or anything that they place online and say this is where the evolution is taking place. It's going to be a spark. And anybody who receives that spark, especially men, knows that you must always, meaning from the center into every direction, always, perpetually and always in every direction from that center, respect the mother. Meaning you think you know what she is or who she is because you're looking at her. And Arcaze, you got a child. So I know you thought you knew who your woman was or your mate was or your wife was, right? Before you had a child with her. But I know up and down and left and right and all around that now you see her a whole nother way. Am I right?
Facts.
And you're going to continue to respect her. You understand that? I'm not giving you no lecture. I'm saying this is going to happen. Not you're going to, like, you better do this. It's not imperative. I'm saying it's going to happen naturally. Every year that child ages, okay, you're going to respect the mother over and over. It's just going to happen. So we were birthed of a mother, right? Let's say our mother doesn't want to share a man. Is she a bitch? She's no longer a goddess. Is she dropped in frequency? What's my point here? My point here is not to tear down Rashad Jamal. My point here is to say we can be disappointed. We can look on and say that wasn't supposed to happen. And we can say we don't know why people were fighting over people like Talib Kweli and Young Pharaoh were fighting each other over who had more clout and who was making more money. Niggas screaming at each other on lives and shit, talking about they got more following and you ain't living like that and da-da-da-da. It became a clout competition. And they telling me, Omari, that I'm chasing clout by saying, hey, y'all, what happened? What about the center? What about Ella Cooked? What about where the G points to, the capital G, draw it, and you'll realize it's pointed to the center. What about the one who sits in prison with 135, with the 9, not 7, all right? Rashad Jamal, 16, 1 plus 6, 7. Brother Polite, 7, 7 plus 0, 7. Do the math. Dr. Melakazi York, 135, 1 plus 3 plus 5, and he wrote it in all of his books, 135 of Nasut, Melakut, Lelhut. He explained it all away before it even happened, told everybody it was going to happen and what the numbers will be and everything. He was hiding it right there in plain sight. So we can look and see, yo, it's okay. This is what I can say. The word was given to me, which is why you don't see me speaking out too much about it. The word was given to me. Hey, look, people are saying that people are taking the information and running with it and doing their own thing with it. That's fine. Long as they mention Dr. Melakazi York when he come home, they're gonna find their way home anyway. Okay, so I fell back from that because I wanted people to be held accountable for the souls that they were grabbing. You don't just throw a whole bunch of chopped up information at them and you have nowhere to take them. They have to be taken somewhere, guided somewhere. And if you're not guiding them to the center, where did you take them? Dr. Melakazi York is still alive. It's not over. I don't know why people said that. My first introduction to Rashad Jamal was somebody else telling me that he was saying to them that Dr. Melakazi York information was outdated and he was the updated version. Listen, let's put this on record. Nobody in history has amounted to Dr. Melakazi York. You cannot be him. You have to be who you are. If you're getting divine insight and information from the cosmos, we're not going to challenge that that's possible because we know it's possible. All we want to know is, why are your acronyms aligning directly to what I'm reading right here in this book, the Holy Tablets? Why are the sciences that you're speaking not only being delivered exactly as he delivered it, except it's limited? So I'm going to do this real quick. Hey, Arcaze, with everything you learned, I really want you to answer this question for me. Please explain to me what non-ether is.
Non-ether at its whole, I don't know what non-ether at its whole is.
Well, I'm just saying, do whatever you know.
For whatever I know, non-ether, from 9 being the highest number, I feel like from just the research I've done, non-ether is not only is it, I think it's, does it have to do with your hair? Because
Okay.
I feel like you about to break it down
No, I
deep.
want you, listen, I really want you to take like a good 3 minutes and
Okay.
explain what, and the reason why I'm saying this is Rashad Jamal one of your teachers?
No,
Okay,
but
you didn't learn
I
that. You
did
didn't.
listen to them. Like my teachers, who
Okay.
I listen to is Bobby Hemmett. Like
Okay.
that's who I grew up.
Oh,
Like my
okay.
first coming up.
Where did you hear non-ether from?
Um, Actually, Dr. York, because
Okay.
I've been looking at, yeah. I used to watch Dr. York too. All the elders, the real elders. Rashad Jamal was like more new to me. Like he was like the most recent version of a teacher. So I of course I listened to him, but my teachers were Bobby Hemmett. I ain't really watched too much of Malachi, but one thing I find myself keep watching. You remember when he was talking like to a crowd? He was like he had cornrows. He was outside talking to a crowd.
Yeah, that's 1992 Mount Zion.
Yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
main ones I
So
watch.
yeah, he spoke on ether then. Ether as far as the Ethiopians. Ether utopian is what he was saying. And
Mm.
he built up on that also. The reason why, because you got the word Athan or Athan, which meant ether, all right, itself, and that meant to burn. You go look at the book of Malachi, chapter 4, and you'll find more of it, where it's talking about a day that was going to come where everything will be burning like an oven, right? It was saying that the day itself, that time period, will burn like an oven. And we've already walked past that from the years 1970 to the year 2000, which was the first 30 minutes of the hour. Dr. Melakazi York spoke of all of this, a 60-year plan. You understand that? From 1970 to 2000, 30 years, all right, which would be 30 minutes. And then from the year 2000 to now, you hear people talking about Project 2030. That's all Dr. Melakazi York. And he explained everything that was going to happen up to this point. He hasn't missed a beat. He hasn't been wrong. And now we're in that sun cycle, okay, the golden age, the sun ages were resurrected, all right? And now people have lost their way. The word that came to me was people are waking up, but they walking around in circles. They don't know where to go. So we will not deny that Rashad Jamal found some of you. We won't deny that. That's not going to be counted in his divine violation. The only violation divinely would be, what did you do to aid in the one who has always been the one? He's always been the center. And if you're one of us, why are you not helping him? Okay? Meaning, before this happened, I was screaming this out. A lot of them will act like, I don't know who this Phase One is. That's a damn lie. They all encountered me in one way or another before any of these things fell. And I said, look, a lot of these pillars in the conscious community are about to fall. People said, what are you talking about? I said, just watch. And it happened. And why did it happen? Because things were out of order. Let's go back to the center. We cannot disrespect a woman. Brothers who are listening, I don't care what or who taught you what or what. All right? You don't call the women bitches. You do not do that. Okay? It is not acceptable, because if you're saying you're one of the ones who are going to raise them up, cursing them is not going to help them at all. Okay? If you think that she's so much of a quote unquote bitch or dog that you think that the one thing that's going to help that situation is you calling her that, you're not one of us. Because one of us will get around a so-called female dog, and by the time we leave, she's no longer that. She has shifted. When we speak to her, her entire genetic structure and gene expression is going to shift directions. That's what we do. So then it became about sex, because if you're saying she's not going to share the man, you're talking about the carnal being. You're not talking about the soul. That was an error. And that divine violation would have had to been evened out. You cannot upset the waters and expect shit not to flood. All right? So again, bring it back to the center. There were certain things that were done that were out of order. And then we said, Dr. York, and I remember Rashad Jamal saying, yo, y'all not advanced enough to learn about Dr. Miller Kazi York. Y'all not on that level yet. Y'all ain't on that level, but you're teaching what he taught. So all I want to know is, what would have been this information that was being brought by Dr. Miller Kazi York that they're not ready for? What do you mean they're not ready? When everybody I reach, they could have started. I got niggas just walking now with us, and we on our way home. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Yo, we clear?
Yeah, you clear.
This brothers is in the street arcades, and they like, yo, man, I don't know where this information came from or how I found my way here, but I'm just so great. They almost on the mic crying in the Telegram chats. And I'm telling them, yo, I'm right here with you. You about to make me cry. You know what I mean? There's nobody that's not advanced enough to touch Nuwapu or right knowledge. I don't know why anybody would say that. I have an idea. Because what can happen is, if you find Dr. Melakazi York and you actually study the science, you'll realize, wait a minute, this is the center, this is the star, this is the sun, this is where all the other bodies are orbiting around. And then it becomes, wait a minute, why do I need, let's say if somebody's selling some peas or whatever, and they got it for like, yo, you get this off me for like 100. You say, nigga, 100? Yeah, 100. This hitting, this the new shit, da 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 da, whoop whoop. It's like, damn, nigga, you taxing my pockets. And I walk up to you and say, what he just told you? He said, I can get this off him for $100 or $111 or $222. You know how the spiritual community, we put numbers to this shit, and it's just communication, but it's still the same thing. A lot of it just be money. I don't know why people can't just separate the two. There's a mission of the souls, and then there's a mission of the money. There's a mission of profit, and there's a mission of profit. A lot of people acting like all of this is one thing. It's not. Sometimes it's just money, and they put a mystical title on it, and people forget that that's what they're doing. They're just spending money. You understand? So I say, yo, what he just told you? Oh, he just told me I can get it for 111. All right, bet. So here go the crazy part about that. What he's selling you is watered down. That ain't even the whole thing. And where I just got my shit from, guess what? What? You ain't gonna believe it. What? You ain't gonna believe it. What? It's free, nigga. It's free. So then you be like, wait, huh? Yeah, it's not only is this shit more potent, the shit free. It don't cost nothing. guess what you're gonna wind up doing? You're gonna wind up going over to where the shit is more potent and more free at. So then what happened with the person who got their shop set up? They ain't getting no more clientele. Ain't no more people coming in saying, yo, let me get some of that. So my point is, when you're a star yourself, there's no need for competition. All right. And what I mean by the competition is there's no need for, like, Phase One has been doing this since he was 5 years old. He brings their attention to Dr. Melakazi York. And I'm an author, musician, all of that. And so is Dr. Melakazi York. And I'm nowhere near his level. Nowhere near it. And I send people to where he's at. That makes sense? I'm listening. I don't want to talk too to be able to ask more questions.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fast. But one thing I wanted to ask you so you can broadcast it and let people know who is Dr. York and who is the Nawapians, because I know a lot of people probably just don't know who that is, but they keep hearing his name. So from Phase One himself, you say you actually like was on the land before. Who is this guy or God named Dr. York, and who are the Nawapians, or what is the Nawapians? Let me see. Cut out. Oh snap. Let me see. Hold on, me. I'm turning back on.
Yo,
Yo, what's up? Did you hear my whole question?
you asked, yeah, you were basically asking who is Dr. York and who are the Nuwapians?
Yeah, like for the people that don't know, like who is this person?
Okay,
So,
so Dr. Melakazi York is the master teacher of all time. And when everybody speaks on leaders, Buddhas, or people who come through with messengers, angels, whoever, gurus, whatever people are calling them now, all right, or even then, you're speaking of people who brought something that changed something about this whole reality. When you put Dr. Melakazi York in the center, you'll realize by just going through accolades, right? Let's deal with that. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Ask any of these people who dare, because we just want to know who dares. That's it. Who dares to be like L. All right. Ask any of the people who dare, which is fine. You can dare all you want to. Okay. How many languages do they speak? Most of the time they're gonna say one or two, right? Dr. Melakazi York speaks 19 languages plus. Okay.
Dang.
How many languages have they introduced or revitalized for the people they came to lead? A lot of these people speak English, right? Anglo-Saxon. Okay. They speak the Anglo tongue. A lot of these people speak, if anything, Hebrew, maybe Hebrew, or Spanish, possibly. Okay. If they paid attention in 10th grade and 11th grade in high school. Okay. But they don't speak 19 languages. You know, 19 languages is so many languages that when you say that shit, it don't even sound like a lot. Watch. He speak 19 languages, and you know, it's so many languages. Like, yo, I got a question real quick, Arcaze. Name
What's up?
19 languages. Go. I'm counting.
Spanish, English, Hebrew, Italian. I don't know it. Chinese, Japanese.
This nigga just finna start naming ethnicities. Shit, Native American.
Yeah, I can't go up to 19.
Hey, you see how you struggle to, and I would have did it too. Shit, don't feel bad. You see how you struggle to name 19?
Yeah,
Try speaking them. That's one category. You understand that?
right.
That if we stayed on that category, just to name them, will take up the rest of his life.
That's crazy.
It took you 30 minutes just to do that. I don't understand. So that's one category. So automatically, I think we can end the live here because to speak 19 languages, one more time, to speak 19 languages fluently. I ain't even hit you with that. You ain't know that was coming. Fluently. Because niggas don't speak English fluently. You understand that?
Right.
So to speak 19 languages fluently blows everybody out of the water. It blows the people who were the subjects of the religious books out of the water. Because the only ones you could try to even put close to him would be people that were in the religious books, but then you find out even they fall short because they didn't speak all them damn languages. You understand? Not only that, but translated the books that people were using for their religious centers, translated them word for word. He's written over 500 books, and we're talking about up to the point where they came for him. Not to mention what came after that, what was revealed after that, the books that people found out about after that. You understand what I'm explaining to you? How many books have you written, Arcaze?
One.
Okay, and congratulations on that. And I've written only at this point 17. Okay,
Right.
and I'm saying only for real because remember what I'm put up against.
Right.
Because
Right.
you know you think you're doing something until you find out about this man called Dr. Arcaze York. You understand where I'm going with this?
Right.
And I would love to be great also. I don't understand why people think I'm exempt. Yeah, greatness is great. Except if this were a sport, you would go based off of what people brought to the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you see how long it's taking to get into just the language and things that are written down in the books and stuff like that? Okay, let's bring it back around. Language is introduced to the people they said they were here to help or save, all right? Or transform. Yes or no? Did Rashad Jamal, let's say, invent? Did he invent a language?
I mean, I don't know 100%. I don't really know, but
So,
all I heard him speak was English.
okay, nothing wrong with that. Right now we're speaking English, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't invent a language. Did you?
Mm-mm.
Okay, we're great leaders, right?
Yeah.
You and I are great teachers.
Yep.
Are we, so far, do we even sit in the same house that Dr. York is in? With what I'm bringing out?
Nah, I
No,
can't
we
even
don't.
say it. Nope.
And you ain't even figured out that, you know, he built his house. Okay, watch this. So, remember I told you about Tom Murray, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Have you ever heard somebody speak on Tamerica?
Yeah.
All right. Or the mounds that were covered up, or the pyramids that were covered up became the mounds and all this other stuff in the Egypt of the West?
Yeah, like in the Grand Canyon and stuff like that.
In America, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So watch this. You want to know who taught that?
Dr. York.
Dr. Arcaze York. Not only did he teach it, he built pyramids in Georgia, right? In Putnam County. So people were able to drive by and see that. A whole land, 476 acres worth, okay, that was about to be developed into a modern day Heliopolis or Atlantis. This is not something small. You understand that? Now, I'm just going to ask you this. This is a real quick question. With all of the conscious community leaders, if they would like to call themselves that, or spiritual leaders, or woke leaders, or thought leaders, or whoever, with all of them that exist now, where is something that you could point and say that's similar to Tom Murray in America?
I can't find one.
And it's all of them. You understand? It's
Yeah.
one of him. So you want to know, are you getting why they leave him out of the conversation?
Yeah.
Because they keep talking. There was somebody, his name was 19 Keys. And when I brought up master teachers, he said, we don't need master teachers in this day and age. We need master builders. Okay? He was only doing that to slight Dr. Arcaze York, because that's who, if you could just go and check, family, you'll see. Everybody called him the master teacher. As a matter of fact, there's a song by our sister, listen, Erykah Badu. I think it came out in 2008, and the song was called Master Teacher, right?
Mm.
And it was another sister, I think the sister's name was Georgina. I can't remember. Somebody in the comments probably remember. But there was another sister that was on there too. But it was, and the chorus is saying, what if instead of niggas, there were master teachers? I stay woke. You know, Erykah Badu was on Tom Murray. She used to come to Tom Murray with us.
That's crazy.
Yeah, her, Andre 3000. I was there, by the way. I'm not saying like with us. I was actually there. So Erykah Badu is family. Music Soul Child is family. What you call it? Wesley Snipes is family. Nas is family. Jay-Z is family. These are people who were there. in the beginning, even before Tom Ray, when it was Bushwick Avenue out in Brooklyn and all these other places. You understand? So my point is, people used to come there. That was a big deal. And they talked about that all over before they destroyed it. I think the demolition took place in 2005. 21 Savage was there. That's why I wrote the letter to 21 Savage. You know what I mean? He was there as a child. We were all, I think he was about 3 years older than me, but he was there too, playing in the beach and all that. So a lot of people came out into this world and became stars. And the most of the conscious community artists that you know of, these stars, they got their ether from Dr. Arcaze York, and they brought it out here to renew the soul. That's where you get neo soul. You understand? The word neo means new. Go look it up. Are you with me? So it was. My point is this. Again, not to tear down any of these people that I'm mentioning. Like I even said in the Survive song, people listen to it. Anybody that I mention is still love, but it's like, why? I have questions. How could you know Dr. Arcaze York was going through what he's been going through, and you got all these followers, and you never made it a point to actually help him get out of prison? And then his followers, Rashad Jamal's people, when I would talk to them, when they would bring him up, they would be like, yo, he's the one. That's the guy, da-da-da-da. And I'd be like, yo, it's Dr. Arcaze York, and he's still alive, and he's still in prison. We need to help him. And they say, nah, we ain't with all that. We ain't on all that. And they will believe in the allegations. It wasn't until he got locked up that people started saying, free Rashad Jamal and Dr. York. And they think I ain't realized that. What really was sad at me one day is that somebody called Real Kaya. I don't know her, but I watch everybody. I see all of you. And she went live one day when Rashad Jamal was first getting, I think it was their verdict. And she was like, talking. And then out of nowhere, she said, this isn't the same situation as Dr. Arcaze York. And I never heard her mention him before then. So it's like, wait a minute. So you know who that is? So now, because Rashad Jamal is locked up and they verdicting him with the same type of read, now y'all are going to say, oh, Dr. York too. No, that's not how this works. So they were saying, yo, we should say free Rashad Jamal. Why you can't say free Rashad Jamal too? So what you heard was a response to that, saying, why would I scream free Rashad Jamal? He wasn't screaming out free Doc. And it wasn't until Rashad Jamal got wrapped that y'all wanted to finally say his name. And now y'all saying, oh, we should free everybody. Everybody who did that was disappointed, right? Because Dr. Arcaze York is our elder, and he was hit with 135, not 16. 16 years been passed. Dr. Arcaze York would have been out even before the 16 if that's what he was hit with. And you wouldn't be having these conversations because that would have been before all this internet explosion shit that people think is a woke movement. It would have been over. But because he's been in there, he's an elder, he's been going through all of this. He's been tortured in the prison system. He's been struggling with certain things and suffering from certain things like angioedema, according to what people know about. All right, fighting these people over and over and over again for the truth to get out, having to deal with people still slandering him, having to deal with the young pharaohs and the rest of y'all who went out there and made these videos, having to look out and see people abandon him and leave him and turn on him and all of this. He's been dealing with that since I was, get this, 3 years old. I am 26 now. Do you know I entered into pre-K with this going on in the back of my brain that they just was taking the master teacher from us? You know, I went into middle school, high school, all this before y'all. You find videos of me at 16 years old, 16-year-old Mason teaches class hidden knowledge. You know I've been on this my whole life, and you don't think that make us feel some type of way when somebody come out and not only teach, we don't mind you teaching, but then you started to play the role. It's painful because the person is still here. That's like me trying to, let's say I do a movie about Arcaze, right? And I play Arcaze, and I'm like, Arcaze used to be a great man, and this was over, you know what I mean? It's the same way they did him, and da-da-da-da. And Arcaze, you sitting there like, what the fuck? I'm still here. I'm still here. No, look, what if I just change my name and be like, yo, Faise can see. And I come out and teach whatever you teach. Or I start making the videos while I'm pointing at the stuff behind me and I'm rapping. and I got the big word in the middle, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just tackling the same type of, you know what I mean? I make a video called the Blue Lotus. Take the flow and everything. Now there will be some people saying, "Yo, man, it's not that deep." You know, everybody can do music. Anybody can point at the screen. Anybody can rap about Blue Lotus, and you'll be over here like, "But nigga, I'm still here. I'm not even finished." How you gonna replicate something that's not done?
Type shit.
So he never minded. We never minded people teaching. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
I want to make sure people know how I'm gonna leave out with it. Is I shook. All right. Again, I don't want Rashad Jamal in jail or in prison. I don't want him to suffer. I don't want him in any of the things that I heard. I don't want him to be going through that stuff. You know what I mean? That's painful to hear. I just want people to understand that it's like, yo, we deal with one thing at a time. It's like how y'all all knew who Dr. Melakazi York is, and y'all didn't. I'm by myself out here fighting for him to get out. There's no way people can walk away and abandon him and call ourselves anything that has anything to do with the genetic regulation of a whole people. When you leave the one who sparked the movement in there, in the belly of the beast, that's what I'm talking about. So that's why I say, again, just to bring it back around, Faise, Faiseone, forever an inspiration. I'm always inspiring. That's what I plan to do. I plan to take people back to the center. I'm spiraling in, inspiring. Okay? And that causes a spiraling out, which is why people feel like they need to ignore me because those waves are hitting them. But all they have to realize and remember is this, or real truth, not even real lies, real truth. Because we're done with the lies. All right? Is they just get the Fibonacci sequence, or call it the Fibonacci sequence, so you can know the secret of it, the sacred of it. It all starts at zero, family. It all starts at home. It all starts at the center. It all starts at the axis point. If you're talking about going within, you better have your bio in order. What do you mean by bio? It means life, literally. I mean, when I say bio, I say beneath formation, in formation, out formation. Bio. It's the easiest way for you to remember it. Beneath formation, in formation, out formation. You better have that in order. And when you have that in order, you won't be abiotic. Okay? Or going against life, or risen here, not set, risen here. All right? Because why? It's all about the truth. The truth finds its way to the center. If you ever hear somebody say that truth always finds itself to the center. And once you figure out that always is a dot word within itself, or a central neutral self, saying that it's going in every direction perpetually, always, okay, it's not hard to find your way back to it, the dot. All right? So if I say Fibonacci, okay, listen to it. Let me say it slow. Fibonacci. What is a fib? Fib is a lie. The fib is not G. The fib is not going to help you get to the center. The lie is not going to help you get to the center. And I know, especially when we built up a reality for ourselves, okay, and projected it outward. Sometimes it's to protect yourself. Sometimes it's because you're afraid to face the truth. Sometimes it's ego, super ego, id. It depends, okay, because id is just saying ID or identification or whatever it is, this illusion, this synthetic you that you've attached yourself to. Sometimes it's hard for you to set that down and say, I am not phase one. Phase one is an event. I am not Rashad Jamal. Rashad Jamal is an event. I am not Arcaze Can See. Arcaze Can See is an event. All of this comes back to the center. And you want to go deeper? It never left. It never left the center, which is why I can look at each and every one of you and tell you who you are, because I know about the dot. The fib is not G. Okay? You figure out what the G is, or the true light, that light of every man that cometh into the world, but they don't attain it, meaning they didn't comprehend it. The comprehended is not. When you figure out what that is, the true light is, and you can apply it to anything. You know about the light, you know about the fire, you know about the truth, you know about the falsehood. You know the truth, you can lie. You know the lie, you can tell the truth. That's all we're saying. All right? You want to be with us? They say, Faise, you fine. I say, yeah, you right. Because fine. That's just speaking about the golden ratio. You go look at what ratio means, the etymology of it. You're just going to find reason. Everything happens for a real sun. There's nothing new under the sun. Who is the real sun? Okay? If you know who the real sun is, you know who the false sun is. You know the true light, you know the false light. You see how it goes back to the center, because you go look at what a phi symbol is in Greek. All right, it's going to bring you right around to the science of the binary code, which all of you have programmed right inside of you. Okay, in the center, focus. Go look up the etymology of focus. You're going to find that it leads you right back to the center, or the fireplace, which is your heart, or your anahata. Okay, the green light at the crossroad that you have where you meet El Qadir, the green one. All right, so you look at that phi symbol. Go find it. Okay, it's going to look like a circle with a line through it. That's zeros and ones. But what about it? It's superpositional. It's operated in a superposition, that golden ratio. Golden just is noob, all right, or the sun. And then you have ratio, or the reason, or the numbers thereof, or the thereof, the mathematics thereof, or the science thereof. And it takes of the dense state. Like what happens when you place something that is dense in the sun and you turn the degrees up over time, that which is dense, the molecules therein will start to speed up. All right. And it becomes less dense. All right. Or past dense, past tense. Okay. And all this is just bring it back around to the center, by the way. If you go look at the 16-year-old Mason teaches class Hidden Knowledge, you'll realize how long I've been teaching this same exact science. Everybody thinks day in by day out that I'm teaching something new, and all I'm doing is just reminding you about the dot. I can apply it to anything. The sun is your dot in your system, the solar system. The central science is your sun, and everything is orbiting. Listen, or is light. What is bit? Binary. Go and check it out. Orbiting the sun is you. And then you have a sun inside of you. Okay? That central point, that etheric point inside of you. Okay? Or Ethiopia, ether, utopia. And what is utopia? Okay? Well, you have to go through a process to figure it out, because the word uto is just auto. That's just dealing with the self. You understand? And pia, or pio, or pious, or piety is just dealing with purity, purifying the self, self-purification. Okay, which leads to your transformation. That's how you find your utopia. At one point in time, Travis Scott was about to perform. I think he had an album called Utopia. He was going to do it in Egypt, right there, Tamaray. Okay, the signs is right there. I think they wound up canceling it. But the word Travis is saying to what? To pass over, okay, or to traverse. Go look it up. To skip from one realm to another realm. Go look it up. All right. So what is utopia? Utopia is saying no place. That's what it really means. When people say there's no place like home, okay? Or it's also saying good place. You go look it up. There's no place that's a good place, because when you look out into this world, it hasn't changed yet. We're looking for the finality, okay, or the finalizing of the success of turning this realm from amber light, or the lustful world of 6, into the purified or divine world of 9. That's what we're looking for. It hasn't happened yet. So if we look out into this world and we haven't seen it, then there is no place out here that is like home. Where is home? Home is where the heart is. And where's the heart? On the chakra chart. Green light. We don't see emerald light out here. You understand? That's why the Emerald City is doing its best to shine its glory. So people can pick up those messages and say, I want to be an angelos also. I want to be an angel myself. All right? How long you going to be a Buddhist? When you going to be a Buddha? How long you going to be a Christian? When you going to be a Christ? You understand? How long you going to be a Muhammadan? When are you going to be an Ahmed, or someone who is worthy of praise yourself? So watch. That's what all of these religions have been talking about. That's why I told you, if you really are one of the chosen, what you're really trying to say is elect. Okay? You get out of that chosen word and you'll realize how much science comes into this. The word is elect, y'all. And when you're dealing with electricity or electromagnetism, okay, or electrical energy, all right, where you get into this other science of the non-ether that deals with your hair, as y'all talk about. A lot of people say, oh, is it the hair? Well, I know that's because they haven't really gone into the science of the hair, because they realize it goes right back into the science of the hair. You understand what I mean by that? Well, you got something called a solenoid. Go look it up. A solenoid. What does it sound like? Solenoid. Well, some people get so annoyed when I talk. But you say solenoid is literally just a way of saying we got something that's a conduit. And I went on the Brother Young Elders class, and I said, look, if I say I am a conduit, that means I can do it. I can do it. I have a song called I Can. I can do it. And a conduit is able to conduct, or product is the word. If you really want to take the con out, to product, with productivity or conductivity, as they say. All right. Which means that you can take information or energy or electrical current and surge it through and sprout it out or spiral it out and spiral it in. That's where you get into the science of the solenoid. If you're listening, so you go look into the solenoid science. Electromagnetism, elect, electricity, elect, election time, elect. Okay, so if I use a solenoid with that conduit, I put a coil around it, which is what your hair does. All right, when it's receiving the electrical energy from the sun. All right, what'll happen is when it passes through, there's something that's generated. What's generated? A magic field. You say you said that wrong, Faith. No, I didn't. It's called a magic field. In science, they'll say a magnetic field. Same difference. Same. Okay, and that's where you get your corona effect. And some people stop at the corona, but what about the unseen, or the aura, oros, all right? Or that field around you that's referred to as the human atmosphere, okay? Where somebody can detect what you're thinking by just tapping into that. Detect what type of being you are by just tapping into that. Something else we were told, that these beings who are overseers, when they come in, or Riskins, when they come in, they can see your aura, all right? And there are certain things that we're doing in our day life or our daily life, okay, that causes for certain alterations in our aura. So if you're engaging in, listen, purification, self-purification, not point at that person and say they need to purify themselves. No, self-purification. You point at the mirror and say, I need to purify myself. And what else? In time. You have to do it in time. You should know what day and time you're in because of the day and time you're in. What do you mean by that? Time is speeding up, something that was already written, that the days would be shortened. Something would cause for the days to be shortened, like your scientists say, a mysterious force. All right? The realm you're in is speeding up and expanding and shrinking at the same time. You understand that? So all of you who are the elect, this is being done for you. All of you who are the elect, you're being called home right now. 80% of the people that listen to this live were here probably just to hear something about Rashad Jamal, and they don't remember me. They don't remember that I use big names for clout. They said, did he say that? We got him. Yeah, one more time. I'm going to say it closer to the mic. They don't remember that I use big names for clout. They don't remember that I understand how stars work. That if I take a star and pick it up and move it over to the left or move it over to the right, all of the little bodies, the planetoids, the asteroids, the comets, all of them, they're going to just gravitate to wherever the sun is. And they don't, I can say it one more time. They don't remember that I use names for clout. And they still don't get it. Some people they're gonna take a soundbite and say, Phase One, use his name for clout. Then they're gonna bring more people to me. And you're not in control of this game. We are. We control the game. We control what happens. So when you're saying he's using his name for clout, don't you know you're right? Like, does that help you rest well? Because here's the situation. Because now we're getting into it. Here's the situation. You're going to have to find your way home anyway, aren't you? If you're one of us, right? So if you needed to be a worshiper, then we'll help you. What do you mean by that? Well, you said you want to send words up to the ship. No, I said I came here to worship. Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, do you really see what you said you want to send words? Okay, then you got to get your tones in order. You got to know what to chant. You have to be able to speak a certain language. You have to know what time to speak that language. All right. You have to be able to sit in darkness and not be afraid. You got to do a mirror test. Here, let me walk you through the school so you can be like one of us. Come up here where we at. You overstanding now? I thought it was interesting. Oh, they didn't tell you. You can't do that. Go. All right, you do it right now. Put your legs inside you and stand there. And while you sitting there in infinite Indian style, I'm just going to walk up here on top of this mountain and wait for you to wake up. They're playing with words because they think that's all we've done is play with words. All right? They're playing with information because they think that's all we did, just play with information. At one point in time, it was written, I remember somewhere I read, it said, throw down your fishing poles and become fishers of men. All right? Right? Throw down your eyes and become fishers of men. People don't understand. That didn't mean turn men into money. You can't serve two masters, silly. It meant that the thing you were using to make money, the thing you were so attached to, you're going to have to cast it down. And it can't be about money. They didn't also read the fine print. Because when you read it, you'll realize when you make this not about money, you receive money. When you make this not about money, you receive abundance. When you make this not about money, all right, or you're not being a snake oil salesman, okay? And if you read my book, you understand what I'm explaining to you right now. Y'all better be listening. Then guess what winds up happening? They put another oil on you, and it's called anointing or appointing. So let's deal with what Dr. Arcaze put out. I'm still answering your question. And let's deal with Rashad Jamal. He isn't. On record, he said he's not a Nuwapian. What if he knew that if he's saying he's yes, you are, unless you're not one of us. The problem is people think Nuwapian is a group. They think it's some religion that's just sitting there for people to join. No, Nuwapian is a mark in time. All right? So let's say this. Let's say there are beings who are in position to make things move. Heavenly beings, God, the source, divine, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Let's say that there's a force put in position to make things move that lead everybody back to order. If I ask you, hey, do you represent God or do you represent the devil? Okay? If you're not going to sit there and argue me down, if you're one of us, you'll say, I represent God. But some people get stuck. They say, well, what do you mean by God? You mean God as in Yud? You mean God as, and I just leave them right there. And they still be talking to themselves. We got to get, and that's not, you can't do that. If you graduated from the school, you should be able to answer it simply. You understand? So I asked, yo, are you with the, Arcaze for you? Are you with God or are you with the devil?
God.
Okay, that's simple, right? You ain't have to argue me down, none of that stuff. You had to sound big, grandiose, then none of that had to activate. No, it's just simple. It's a simple answer, right? You know people can't do that because they become too deep for their own good. Literally. They can't come out of the rabbit hole. Every time you turn around, somebody trying to, let's go down the rabbit hole. And I'm the only one standing outside saying, why? What's down there? You know what I'm saying? You know, let's go down here. Bro, why? You know what I mean? Okay, Alice in Wonderland. That's okay. You went down the rabbit hole. What did she wind up having to do eventually? She had to wake up, right? How about this? Instead of having to go all the way down through the fucking realm of Nod or Jahannam, how about just back up a little bit, up out the rabbit hole before you go all the way to fuck through there just to realize you got to wake up and come up out of there anyway? It's a spell. All right? Because that light down there ain't the same light. The rabbit hole is Sophia's world. Do you know people can be wise in all the wrong wisdom? You know, people can know all the wrong shit. What do I mean by that? I gave people the example before where I said, what if we, okay, let's say we're all on this elevator. You, Arcaze, and me, you, Arcaze, and somebody else, right? We all three of us on this elevator. And let's say I know everything there is to know about the elevator, right? I can tell you about the pulley system, when it was made, all of that. I just don't know how to get out of it when it's burning, right? And then the other person that's next to you, he don't know shit about the elevator, but he learned how to get out of that bitch when it was burning, right? So now the elevator's on fire. Simple question. Who you need to listen to? Simple answer would be the one who knows how to get out of it when it's burning. Now, let's flip it.
Thanks.
If we were taking a test on the elevator, you don't need to listen to the motherfucker who don't know nothing about the elevator. The one who know everything they need to know about it, that's who you listen to. It's a time for everything. So let's do it again. Which side are you on, Arcaze, God or devil?
God.
Okay, so when you speak and when you teach out here in the world, are you a representative of the 6 ether forces or the 9 ether forces?
9 ether.
Okay, do you represent the moon or the sun?
The sun.
All right, are you a representative of the sun?
Yeah.
Okay, are you a deputy of the sun? It's the
Yeah.
same word. It's not a trick question.
Okay, yeah.
Because if I just say deputy in French, it just means appointed.
Okay.
It means
Okay.
assigned. You understand that?
Right,
So
right.
do you know that the word Nawab means deputy? Nawab also means representative when you speak in the word Arabic, language Arabic or Arabic.
Mm.
All right. So are you a Nawabian or not?
If that's what it means, then yeah.
Listen, here's the science. If you act like you know what Nuwupu means, you're not one of us. Because Nuwupu, if you say you know what Nuwupu means, now, you see how I'm saying it like that now? You say, what the fuck just happened? Exactly. What just happened? Now, if I ask somebody what just happened, they're not going to be able to tell me. Now watch this. Nuwapian, Nuwabian, Noap, Eon, Noob, Eon, Nubian, Nubian, Noob, Eon. Say what? Exactly. Trying to figure out and say that you know for sure without talking to the one who brought you to science what Nuwapian or Nuwupian actually means is like listening to a Kendrick Lamar verse as a fan. Do you know that a Kendrick Lamar fan will come up with 70,000 meanings for his first line? And they're going to think they know what it means. And they ask him, did you mean that? And Kendrick Lamar, I didn't mean 70,000 of them points. Shit, I just meant what I said. Nigga say, I was sleepy, I went to bed. See, when he was sleepy, nigga, you ain't listening. He was telling you he was deprived of oxygen, and that meant death. So he had to go back to the beginning, the bed again, nigga. And niggas be like, yo, I didn't mean none of that shit. Huh? So sound right reasoning. If it sound right, it's for a reason. What don't sound right is somebody saying they one of us and saying they're not a Nuwapian. That don't sound right. So we want to know the reason. That's it. This is where sound right reasoning, Nuwapu, where people talking about non-ether. Do you know non-ether tie right into Nuwapu or Nuwupu? All right. If I say I'm gonna take all of the combination of all the existing gases and line them right up and say, wow, there you go, non-ether. Okay, you say, what are you talking about? Well, you heard everybody talk about 999. You seen people with 999 on their name?
Yeah.
Ask them what it really mean though. What is 999? Because if you got it on there, it should mean something to you, right? Well, it's just simple. Keep it simple. 9, knowledge. 9, wisdom. 9, understanding. You put that all together, you get 9, mind. So if you place what I just said, 9, knowledge, 9, understanding, 9, wisdom, and you put the word right there, you get right knowledge, right wisdom, right understanding. And if you put all that together, you don't get 9 mind at that point. You get right mind, don't you? This is where you get right back to the center. Hope you're listening. Golden ratio. We have been talking in code because that's how our genes work. If you don't have a code, then you don't have genes. You're built with code. So we speak in code because it also makes it harder for the 6 ether forces who can't even comprehend the code to stop it. You can't stop Nuwapu. You can't stop it. How you gonna stop some shit you don't even know what the fuck it is? You know what I mean? You see in videos, niggas just get to shooting because they don't know where the fuck the threat is coming from. And then you find out the shit is coming from everywhere because it's a bioweapon. No, that's for real. You'll see somebody get a choking up because they release a bioweapon, niggas start shooting. He don't even know what he's shooting at. He's just trying to survive. It's coming from everywhere. You'll know that if you stand in the center. You know what I mean? So my point is this, family. Literally, my dot is this. If I'm saying 999, 9 to the 9th power of 9, or the top of the 9 ball, or the space, matter, and time, or if I say the 9 ball, I'm saying the sun, by the way. How would I tell you that? If you take a piece of construction paper and draw a circle, you just drew the sun. You could tell anybody that, hey, this is the sun. You could also say it's a circle. You could also say it's the beginning of a stick figure image of somebody's face. You can say whatever you want. You got control over that pen. You can say whatever you want to say. One thing that nobody could debate is it's 360 degrees. You understand that? 3 plus 6 equals what?
Nah.
And you know that science too, that 9 times 9, whatever, 9 times 8, whatever, 9 times 5, whatever, 9 times 1. Whatever, it still would add up to what?
Nah.
Because the truth always finds its way back where? To the center. So I don't understand what this whole anybody is, well, other than the fact that he was given improper information, okay? Or anybody that's teaching that I'm against Dr. York is a fallen angel in the flesh. He ain't talked to me. How would you know that? He ain't talked to me. Nobody, I don't want people to get lost in the sauce here. You have not talked to me. You don't know where I'm from. I could be a fallen angel in the flesh. I could be a rising angel in the spirit. You haven't talked to me. You just said you don't know who I am. So when you take all of the spiritualism out of it, he say whether or not Phase 1 is a fallen angel in the flesh or a God that came up out of the skies, is he speaking the truth? Does it sound right? What's the reason? And does it lead us back to the center? How do you know if everything is somebody saying is true or anything somebody saying is true? It checks out. You check it out. You don't believe them. Why you don't want to believe? Because you don't want to be left. It's in the word, belief. Yo, you should deal with belief. Why would I want to be left? No, I want to be right where I'm supposed to be. Be right, which is where? In the science of knowing. So you don't set yourself up for a trap. You shall know the way. Truth. And the truth will make you free. It'll motivate you to get free. You can't just get the truth and be like, okay, I got the truth, and just stand there and say, nah, I know what it is. You have to call for action with that truth. So to the brother Rashad Jamal and everybody who follows him, which you shouldn't follow anybody, you should be walking alongside them. That way, if they trip up, you can point and say, nigga, you missed a step. That's why I tell people walking with me, don't follow me. You understand? Walk with me. And if you look around and you don't see me there anymore, and I already told you, walk toward the sun, face the rising sun, go in that direction, walk right up to the sun. And you look around, you see me not walking toward the sun no more, you be a damn fool to not keep walking. You keep walking so you don't get left. You don't want to be left. You want to be right where you're supposed to be. And that's in the center, okay, which you bring back around to that solenoid I was telling you about. Go study that so you'll understand that when that type of energy comes and that magnetic field is spawned from that, okay, which brings you to the type of corona science that I know a lot of people don't want to talk about that no more because the algorithm will shut you down. So I won't go too deep into that. But when I use the energy from the electricity that passes through to cause for that magnetic field to open up, I can cause for linear motion, right? I could bring forth linear motion. I could set something in line, in ordered motion. That's where you want to be, on the straight line, the Sirat or the Sirat al-Mustaqim. That's where you want to be. You walk right the middle path, as they call it, and keep walking in the center. That's why is a neutral science. And I put in one of my books, neutrality is where you're going to be able to get home through. The new and true reality, because you're leaving the false one behind. All right? Well, before we get up out of here, I'm going to make sure we get at least 2 more questions about the Arcaze. I know people are listening. I know they're traveling, but I don't want to lose nobody.
Okay, bet. I wanted to ask, why did you think they try to unalive you? And then I heard LifeWave got shot too. So I'm trying to figure out like why you think they coming for the Nuwapians. It's pretty, I feel like, well, everything you explained is self-explanatory, but from your words. And who do you think it
I can't
was?
speak on LifeWave. I was grateful that he made it out. You know, I told him that I can't speak on him. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother situation also. You know, he actually got shot. All right. So I don't know anything about that situation. He would be a better person to ask that.
Okay.
For me personally, that ain't the first time, family. It's just I had a message to get through. So it happened at a divine time. I know that might sound crazy, like damn, this shit got it happened at a divine time, which is why I think that video went viral, because more people were able to hear Dr. Melakazi York's name. You understand that? I was like, yo, they don't want Dr. Melakazi York out of prison. Why would I be getting shot at? And it's interesting you asked that, because people are saying it was Rashad Jamal. Like, I don't see Phase 1 under these attacks. I don't know why people need me to be under the same attacks that they're under. Attack is an attack. You know, like I said, they'll try to kill some people, defame certain people, lock certain people up. What I will say is, if Phase 1 isn't here, then Phase 1 isn't able to do what Phase 1 is able to do. Only thing they're not reading is I won't be able to leave until I do what I'm supposed to do. That's what I programmed. Now, I did not program a fail safe. You understand? I just programmed plan A. I did not program, oh, this is gonna work, this is gonna go wrong, so it's gonna be an exit. I just programmed plan A. And I knew plan A since I was like 5 years old when I was standing on Tama Ray and I saw the statue of the living Messiah called Yeshua on the Ankh laying on the ground. All right. And they nailed him in the ground. And my Umi was crying. And I told her, I'm going to fight. So people like, how are you out here the next day if you just got, your house just got shot up? It wasn't my house, by the way. It was my wife's house. Okay. And there's a whole other thing that happened with that. People don't understand. It's way deeper. Some things I ain't even said. Okay, because I know people wouldn't even believe it. And I don't want them to believe it, so I just leave it where it's at. The point is, they thought they hit me. I know they thought they hit me in their head. And I was being told it was a whole nother group of beings who did that. So to answer your question is, if they would have got me, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Make sense? And if they would have gotten me, then who else is going to hold that gate open? While everybody's trying to abandon and act like Dr. Arcaze doesn't exist because they want the glory for themselves. Notice, everybody wants his glory. Nobody wants the thing that happened to him. Everybody want the glory, but they didn't want to get locked up. They wanted the glory, but they didn't want to be slandered in the media and having everything they worked for attacked and attempted to be torn down. They didn't want that part. They didn't want the glory part. I could be a leader. I could teach people, get followers. No, family. When you're trying to be him, they already got something set up for that. It's like trying to copy a code. If I type in 1, 2, 3, all right, I can still type in 3, 2, 1 or 2, 13. It's still the same numbers. All right, your situation might happen slightly different, but because you're trying to be this person, the algorithm or the algorithm is going to read the same. So just keep it simple. If phase 1 would have been erased in any of the attempts, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. They know who's actually, by they, I'm just talking about 6 ether forces, people who don't want things to be in order. They know who's actually pushing for order again. They know who's actually pushing for the resurrection of the golden ages again. They know who's doing that. They know who's not. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't marry and say, okay, because this person gets more attacks that, maybe they're more of a truth teller, or because this person gets less attacks, maybe that. I wouldn't marry it like that. I would say just judge off of the words and don't jinx this shit. Like, it ain't over. They can come for me any way they feel they got the time to. Only thing about them is FEMA's so busy now, the FBI so busy now, the CIA so busy now. They got so much going on trying to hold their realm together. It's kind of hard to keep up with me because they got so much they got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if everybody is on the same path to home, then you deal with what matters in the order in which they come. And nobody can say that these conscious community leaders didn't abandon Dr. Arcaze York. That's why I did on my story. I said, yo, how did y'all find out about Dr. Arcaze York and his situation, how important it is to know that he need to be out of there? Everybody was saying, I learned that through you. I learned that through you. Why would I say that? For a war? No, because anybody can say free Dr. York. Like I told people, Farrakhan said free Dr. York. But he also said trumped up charges. He also said Dr. Arcaze York was innocent. So if you're going to say that, why you ain't help him? Because you're not just somebody on the web saying free him. You got manpower. So they left him. And that is not okay. And they can, listen, there's no threat anybody can make, NOI, anybody that's going to make me not say that. That's not okay. Because if that's one of our brothers, then we help them. That's why I tell people, listen, just watch what people say. If you don't know what Nuwapian is, don't talk too fast now because we hearing, we listening to you. If you don't know what that is, you better learn something about it. If Rashad Jamal going to try to convince people he never read a Dr. York book or never read a Dr. York or listened to one of his teachings or anything like that, I don't understand why he would say whether or not he was a Nuwapian if he don't have enough information to determine that. You understand? So what you'll find is if you are a Nuwapian, you're on a path. What I can tell you is just this. So I'll leave you with this. Go look up what the Latin word for 6 is. All right? And you're going to find that it is sex. All right? You go look up what the Latin word for 9 is. And what you're going to find is novum. Novum, NBM. All right? Which is, you could interchange that to be NBM or NBN or Nebium or Nebium. If I say novum and I say Neviim or Naviim, all right, I'm saying the plural form of prophets. Okay? And the word Nebi also means prophet, or Nevi, or Navy. Okay, those who speak with the blue light, because remember, Navy is blue. All right, or the water, the ones who carry that tone of the medu nectar. And you have to be a sweetheart, by the way. You know what I mean? If you ain't never been called a sweetheart in your life, you might got some working on. You got to be a sweetheart, meaning you have to be sweet in the center. What does that mean? Medu is Madu, family. Madu means nectar, which is right there next to Netjar or Nejer or Nectar, a god. Okay? Medu, Madu, nectar. And Madu means honey, nectar means honey. The honey is right there in the heart, in the center. Sweetheart. You understand? I'm explaining to you. So all of the prophets have a job, family. When you speak on people talk about the ancestors, essentially the word ancestor and prophet means the same thing. Because if I say the word prophet, I'm just saying to speak before. Go look it up. You'll find pro, and then you have the word, what was it, Fides or something like that. Because Fides meant speak something. Okay? And if I say pro, I'm saying I'm in front of them or coming before them, like a run, what do you call it, a harbinger. All right? So the ancestors are prophets then, because they spoke before us. All right? My point is this. People have to decide whether or not they're a prophet for disorder or order in this day and time. That's what they're going to have to decide. And if Rashad Jamal is one of those people, or anybody is one of those people who are prophets for the Most High, what's the most automatically 9? Then we don't have no problem with them. Stop lying to him. No, phase 1 just speaks truth. He don't pick one person out. That's just y'all favorite. You know what I mean? Niggas be fans. That's y'all fault. We never told you to be fan addicts or pan addicts, fanatics. You know what I mean? The moment people chose to be a fanatic, that's when you fucked up. So you think because I mentioned him? Listen, did you listen to the Survive song? Do you know how many people I named in that one song? They just picked the Rashad because it's somebody that they follow. No. One thing that will not be able to be said, though, is that I lied. He did not scream Free Dr. York. You cannot look at anything that you would try to put it, even in the edit they made, and say, this means he's screaming Free Dr. York. No, he put Dr. York with Matulu and Larry Hoover. He did what everybody else did. It's like y'all can't say Dr. York name by himself for some reason. When y'all bring him up, you got to bring everybody else up. One more thing. When it came to taking information, which I heard a piece of one of the interview, no, it would not be the same as saying Dr. Melakazi York got his information from the Most Honorable Haji Muhammad. It would not be the same as saying Dr. York got his information from Marcus Garvey Noble Drew Ali. No, Dr. Melakazi York had to teach people who were a part of schools that these people started. So he had to know what those people learned to be able to help them see the truth of it. Please explain to me where he learned non-ether from. Please explain to me where he learned a lot of this stuff from. And then you realize none of these people they mentioned taught it. And then it's not a disingenuous question to ask, who did Dr. York learn from? He learned from a lot of people. He cited a lot of works. But then you have to pick a subject and stick to it. Which one are you talking about? Which version of Dr. York are you speaking on? Malakazi York? You speaking on Imam Asa, Al-Hadi Al-Mahdi? You speaking on Al-Qadir? You speaking on Al-Qurd? You speaking on Malachi Zadek? You speaking on Michael? You speaking on Murdoch? You know what I mean? You speaking on Ningish Zeta, Galza? Or you just write flat out Malakazi York? You know what I mean? That was just 9 schools, by the way, that I was speaking on. How many schools you want to go through to ask me where did he learn from? He studied abroad. That's not the point. The point is, where are we going? Do we have the information to get out of the burning elevator? That's all we want to know. And if you got that, fine. Okay, cool. So guess what? We got one of our brothers sitting there in the belly of the beast. We got to help him. We got to help get Dr. Melakazi York out of prison. That's the outcry. That's the call. That's the words you send up to the ship. You understand? That's the energy that you send in that direction. Help get the lamb out, and then watch what happens with everything else. Because let's say Rashad Jamal, all right, and we hope this happens. Let's say he gets out. Then where do we go? All right? You can ask Rashad Jamal about the hurricane. Why he didn't tell people it was coming? Because that's what Doc would do. That's what the master teacher would do? He would say, hey, there's a storm coming. It's gonna be big. And you say, oh, you watch the news? No, he would say that shit a year before it happened and tell you where it's gonna happen at. You know what I mean? And tell people where to prepare for. And that's what we're dealing with. So all I want is the truth to get out. Okay. All I want is the truth to get out. Because the truth has been in there for 22 years. All right. One more question you got for me.
Well, pretty much. I was about to ask you about the hurricane, but you already kind of expounded on that a little bit. Unless you want to go more deeper, or we go to the next question. If you want to, you want to talk about hurricane? Oh snap! Wait, what happened? Oh, you got clipped out. Hold up.
Yo, yeah, Clip. You can hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear. Did you hear what I said or no?
I did. I actually don't want to talk about the hurricane because, like anybody, we can talk about the hurricane. I can make, I could just make a teaching about anything. We can
Yeah,
talk about
yeah,
the
yeah. Fact.
hurricane being the vortex. The ancestors did it. I wasn't damn there. You want to know what I'll tell you about the? I don't know if it's a demon or not. It's just fucking weather. It's weather, gang. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the shit was. I mean, the water came. Did you see it? It was crazy. Niggas it was water. People went
Yeah.
missing. You know what I mean? I don't know why they was. I will say this. I don't know why people say, "Oh, there's so many people missing." Did you check under the water? Like it's a hurricane. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Look lift the damn water up. There they go. I don't know what they playing all these political games. FEMA was just. I'm telling you, it's hey. All right, next. It's a hurricane. Anything can be made to be anything. If I say it enough, how would I know the Lord Abba sent the damn shit on land, and this is because of what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Who the fuck told me that? You know what I mean? What I can say is I told people to watch the Hurricane movie earlier this year and to write the number 22 down. I'll tell you that. All right, we can move on from that one. Let's do another. Or do you want people to ask me something or what? How you want to do this? Hey, thank you, by the way, for being so agreeable when I came to you about this. I appreciate that.
No
I
problem.
know that opened up a lot of doors for a lot of good things to move. And again, I want to put it on record. I speak strongly. I speak truth. However, I don't hate Rashad Jamal. I don't want him to be in prison. If this brother is innocent, I hope he get out effective immediately and don't go through any more of the suffering that I know happens with just a day in that place. So no, I'm not into kicking somebody when they down or nothing like that. It just was a lot of pain. It's been a lot of pain, and this fight has been going on for many lifetimes. And if that's my brother, and it comes out that that's my brother, sometimes you gotta, what I'm saying, sit your brother down and be like, yo, that wasn't right. You know what I mean? And sometimes the brother don't know whether or not it's right. So I'm not gonna put any judgment or blame. I'm just gonna say this was done. This is the truth. I didn't say, on that song, I didn't say no fuck Rashad Jamal. I just say, yo, this didn't happen. Why y'all want me to join that fight? And we've been fighting one, and we've been begging everybody to help us fight that one. You know what I mean? And then you want us to join these other fights, and our efforts are concentrated on getting the master out. And we don't want anybody to be in that belly of the beast that's not supposed to be in there. It's just how did y'all not see it of importance, a matter of importance? And you can't say just because you're not a Nuwapian, you know what I mean? That don't mean shit. Is if you are one of the ones who say I'm an elder that sit on one of these seats for whatever reason, okay, the 19th elder Yanun is in prison, and you didn't make that your business. That like you and I are brothers, and you get locked up, and I'm just gonna leave you. I don't leave my brothers in jail. It don't matter what I got going on. I could be about to pay for a music video. It don't matter. That deposit, that 1,000, whatever, that's about to go on. They getting bailed out with my brothers. So if you one of the elders, that's your brother sitting in there. And he been sitting in there way before 2021, way before they came for you. It's not just free Dr. York. That's not what we're talking about. And then at the same time, you're just teaching and saying, you know, you're getting this from the divine. He knows, because here go the thing. I love him. Tell anybody, you know, next time y'all talk to Rashad Jamal, tell him Faise once said, I love you. Tell him I said I shook, right? Because I know he knows, especially in the dark chamber, all you have is you to hear. So he hears what I'm saying. Y'all have to stop yourselves trying to see dissension because y'all are fan people. Y'all are bringing petty business. All I'm doing is speaking the truth. Y'all are making it petty business. That ain't, truth is not petty business. Truth is truth. You know what I mean? All right, what you got? Unless you want to ask people what they want to know.
I had one more as far as let the people know what you got in store as far as music, man. Where you going at with that, and what you about to drop? You got album dropping. Let people know where you going at with that for real. I know you had the letters to the rappers; those are going viral. Let people know
Yeah,
where you going with it at.
this is a letter right here. So watch this. I'm an alchemist. You know what I mean? I'm watching. I see everybody. I really do just. I really want people to reach certain levels in their life. You know what I mean? Some things that people are looking at, they're looking at them so small, and it's like, look, this is a very fine time, especially in these days, to open up and broaden your horizons, to be able to see more. If you think I got on here just to talk about Rashad, you weren't here. You have an opportunity to come home. Everybody has to come home. I'm not talking to everybody. If you think this is about Rashad Jamal, go to the left. If you heard me, go to the right. Because that's what my letters are. What's the letter? The letter is G. When I say letter to Sexy Red, that's a G to Sexy Red, capital G. It's an arrow pointing right to the center. I say letter to 19 Keys, letter to Farrakhan, letter whatever star you see me call out. You need to be asking yourself why you were around that star. You need to be asking yourself, what was it about that star that caused you to gravitate towards it? Letter to Sexy Red, a lot of people gravitated toward it. 300-something thousand people. Why? Because Sexy Red is a star, right? Letter to Lil Baby, a lot of people went over there. Why? Lil Baby's a star. Rashad Jamal is a star. Guess what? Phase 1 is a star. I ain't seen a letter to Phase 1. We'll wait and see what happens. You know what I mean? But Phase 1 is a star. Now, let's get this. Star is just saying elite. Are you elite? And if you're elite, then this is a reminder. Activate that star in you. The sun in you. What if I told you you got to lead through the sun? Where would you begin to make that transformation? What if I told you, family, fuck what people are talking about? Hell is real. What if I told you, family, when you woke up and you couldn't move and you heard them demons laughing at you, that was not a figment of your imagination. You're food for them. What if I told you, family, when you astral project, if you ever got the opportunity to do so, and the gravity increases and the realm turns dark and you're pulled beneath the earth plane and you're trying to get back up there, you're not dreaming. There are realms beneath your feet that are waiting for you. You can't hear it? Listen. It's like a belly growl. They're waiting for you. And there are realms beneath this plane that are waiting for you. You have to decide. Watch this. Some of you had experiences where you woke up and somebody was calling your name and you couldn't, yeah, and you can't even move. You trying to scream, you can't scream. Why did you go through that? You went through that so that you could come in contact with your soul, to be reminded that you have one. Look at the demon in the crowd. Say the fear grab. You should be listening, right? Did phase one make up sleep paralysis? No. Is he speaking on a science called sleep paralysis to scare people? What the fuck would be the point? You understand that? It's reality. They allowed me to see hell. They allowed me to know that it's real. They allowed me to know that demons exist. And they also allowed me to see the heavens and to know that it's real and that Etherians exist. So they standing right there saying, which one are you going to do? Which route are you going to take? So it starts in the body, y'all. A lot of you have already started to attach yourself back to El. It's called El Key Line. A lot of y'all already started on that path. The line is the cord. All right? Hold on to the rope all together. Don't be divided. El, all right? That God in you, the Most High. Key is the spirit or the key. A lot of you already started. You cut out the meat or the flesh. You said, this is dense. Some of y'all did it this year. I stopped eating meat around January 1st of this year. All right? Some of y'all probably been doing it. I came here not eating meat. You got to come back home. It's too heavy. You won't be able to get out. Some of you know what I'm saying. Some of you don't understand anything I'm talking about right now. It may not be for you, or it may be for you, just depending on whether or not you're going to listen to me. Because notice the brother asked me about my music, and I ain't told you when one album about to drop. I didn't go into that, not to disrespect the question. It's just I'm saying I'm using this opportunity to tell you what they're showing me. I'm talking to somebody. All right? You do have to come out of the lust. You do. You do. Some people go, everybody has to choose. You do got to come up out of it. Brothers, men, when you see women, you got to look in their eyes or you're going to lose your soul. You know what I'm talking about. You got to stop looking down. That's not where they soul at. You're going to lose your soul if you don't learn to look in their eyes when you see them. I'm telling you a way up out of it. All right, you better catch it. Take notes. Say, this is one of the easiest ways you can help them. I hear you. Because you look in their eyes is going to reform you. Don't look down. Okay? The only time you would be doing that is in essence of saying you're protecting your gaze. All right? Or plucking out the offensive eye. What is the point of all of this? Is it just the men I'm speaking to? Absolutely not. However, I have to say that because if I don't say that, a lot of the men will get aggravated and say, what about the women? Okay? The women are closer to home than we are, y'all. It's just what it is. They'll hear the chimes before we do. It's just what it is. They'll know where to go. All right? The barotheric gland in the woman will be easier to activate than in the man. It's just what it is. Because they're already nonverbal beings. They're already intuitive telepathic beings. Okay? So I'm just giving you a key. When you see women, use that opportunity. Look them in their eyes. Speak to them. And be gentle with them. All right? You better return to the gentleman. Okay? Because the Gentile men going to have to return back to the tribe. And if you ain't one of the Gentile men, you ain't hear me just then. All right? Be grateful for life. Breathe in intently through your nose. Out intently through your nose. Nose breathing. Or in intently through your nose. Out intently through your mouth. Okay? Be grateful about it. Why would I say that? Because this is a great and dreadful day. Like, somebody will hear me talk about sleep paralysis and think that's fear-mongering. Do you realize how deep up under the red you got to be to think, speaking about a science that occurs when certain stages are passed through, like hypnagogic hallucinations and all this other stuff that occur? Speaking on science is fear-mongering. You know how far down in the left world you got to be? You got to come up here to understand that if somebody says, hey, look, you already experienced this. You woke up and you couldn't move. Somebody screams your name. You need to know why. You already experienced this. You were in a dream. You tried to engage in sexual activity and you started to experience pain in your body, you need to know that that is you saying to you, you're going to get left. Huh? And don't worry, because a lot of people won't know that is even happening. It's already occurring. Watch the movie The Invasion. I think it was called The Invasion, or it might have just been called Invasion. It came out in like 2007. Watch that movie. This is all about your genes, your DNA. And in that movie, they even dropped the gem about it. When you hear a gene expression, you'll know where it's coming from. The movie Invasion happened in 2020. Let me tell you something. The people that's around you in your life, okay, they're not the same people from 2019. They're not the same beings. And because of all of the fear that was out here, all right, because of all of the people that were vibrating on the sixth force, all right, they're not. Most of these people are demonic and they're on autopilot. Watch the movie Matrix 4, because all it takes is for a button to be pushed. And those people who are on autopilot, they will mobilize against you. So don't worry. A lot of people don't know this is happening. But if I was here to talk to you, I'm talking to you. We on our way up out of here. You're going to know what I mean. Nuwupu is the central science that's going to help you. It's going to help whatever you need. Anything you need to transform in right now is going to help you. Right knowledge is going to help you. Listen, somebody was in their house and they heard 3 knocks. You went to the door. You opened it with nobody there. You closed the door. You had a dog barking away at that same spot. They've been doing their best to reach some of you. Some of you have children they're trying to reach. Go watch the movie Knowing. The ringing in your ear. Pay attention to the ringing in your ear. It just happened to me before I got on the live. I said, don't let anything but truth come through me. The ringing in your ear. Pay attention to it. Go watch that movie Knowing. That's literally them tapping your code and saying, yo, you ready? You got to be ready. You got to be ready. You want to ask about a hurricane. What about the vortex? You got to be ready. You better be ready. Be ready. B-E-E. Remember the buzzing, the humming. All right? Come home. Stop the partying. Stop the playing. Come home. Center yourself. Get yourself in order. Get your house in order. Take all that hate up out your heart. Forgive these people, whoever it is. You better let that go. Take that weight off you. Because this whole planet, all right, is phasing. And I would love to be able to talk to you and you hear me. But if you're too far behind, you won't be able to. All right, you got the last word, family, unless you got one more question. How about you got the last question? Do one more question and we get up out of here.
That was pretty much the last
I was
question,
gonna
but
say, yeah, don't worry about the album. I got more. I mean, I just did something called the Book of Life. You know what I mean? It's on the way. I'm working on a Book of Life album.
right.
The music is just, my music is the mission, man. I'm leaving maps and stuff. I'm not gonna be here long. I'll be up out of here. I'm just leaving stuff for people to get up out, so they'll know when it's time for this. If you get tapped, it's your time. It's get up out of there, because you don't know how long you've been here. You know what I mean? I'm talking directly to who exactly. You don't know how long you've been here, and somebody gonna be like, "Yo, he talking to me." That's who I'm talking to. You've been here for a long time, and yeah. So the music, all that, the money, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I was born into something that allowed for me to do this, and it was Nuwapu. And if it were not for Dr. Melakazi York, like if you want to listen to some music, go listen to Dr. York music. If it were not for him, I think it's very possible I could have lost my way. You understand? And maybe my genes wouldn't have been able to activate in time. If he would have decided at any point in time that he wasn't going to do what he knew he needed to do, I wouldn't be able to even sit here and talk to you. So everybody needs to know that if you know me and you see all this great stuff I'm doing, reaching out and changing this reality, it's because of him. And with his activations he gave me, they're still out there. The books, the teachings, everything I grew up with, y'all, is still out there. Go get it.
Right. I was about to ask you where could they find those books, Dr. Your books or your books, or and where can they find you at on all platforms? Where can they
Okay,
find all
I
of
see
this
what you're
knowledge?
doing. I thank you for that. So, okay, I get you. Uh, he's like, nigga. Okay,
You
I get it.
good?
All right, yeah. Phase one, Faise space ONE. All platforms. You'll find me. I'll find you, really. Okay, and we'll be standing there on that mountain. It'll be purple, by the way. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, YouTube as Phase One, Faise space ONE. As far as the books, I have books, but that's another. We'll get on to it. I can do that another time. Dr. Melakazi York's books is I can. There's a sister that I know goes by the name of Farolina, Farolina. I know for sure that if you message her, she has 450 books in a link because I already went and tested that. I asked her for the book. She's not selling them. She sent it straight to me, didn't charge me, and I was able to access all of the books, 450 books worth. Other than that, there's a lot of books all over the web. It's shit is out here. A lot of people trying to monetize and capitalize, but the shit is every damn where. And if you want to take it to another level, just go to Dr. York Teaching on YouTube, find something that resonates with you, press play. I'm telling you, the gate is closing. All right? It's so crazy because when you know, this shit is closing. And you got a decision to make. You have to decide. Because once it's that, is that. Once it's that, is that. And I don't know where to take y'all after the mountain. That ain't my job. So I have to bring you to the mountain. And when we there and you see the lamb and you see the purple glow, then you understand the other instructions come from the one who put this whole thing in motion. That's Dr. Melakazi York. Anybody saying they know where to go, what's about to happen, anything other than that, they ain't been able to prove that. We on to a lot of stuff going on right now. Some of y'all been hearing weird sounds in the sky. Some of y'all been hearing weird sounds in your woods and around your home. There are a lot of beings lurking. They looking for food. And go watch the movie Constantine. They don't make these movies for no reason. The realms are splitting and tearing, and certain beings are trying to push through to get here. And you thinking I'm talking about some monster jumping out of your closet. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about you trying to figure out why Billy Bob, your cousin, was one way one day, and the next day he done turned into a serial killer. And it's because a being wanted to experience what it's like to be a serial killer. You understand what I'm explaining to you? Walk-ins. There's a lot of stuff. So he's just building up protection and also building up your arsenal. You ain't no scary cat sitting in the corner. You better be ready to go to war. Michael and them. You know what I mean? So shout out to all the warriors. Yeah, so go listen to Dr. York music, Dr. York meditation, okay? Dr. York teachings. Listen to it. Hear him. You know what I mean? Hear him. Don't let nobody tell you nothing else. And all you do is sit in the dark or turn on your green light or the blue light or both. Okay? We ain't got to the purple light yet. We're going there together January 1st, 2025. All right? But you go out and get you a green light, put it in your home. All right? Turn all these other lights off. You sit in that light. I'm telling you, it'll change your life. And you put it on. And I'm not sending you to no man. I'm sending you to genetic activations that I got as a child. That's the only reason why I know where we at. Now, where we going, that's him. He gonna have to tell you that. They're gonna have to tell you that. But I know where we at. After we get to that point, though, that's not my role is done. You have to be able to hear him. Because then that white light get too blind and people ain't gonna know what's behind that.
Mm.
You understand? All right. So yeah, it's all about the center. Everybody go and listen. And if you find what you need to find, that's great. If you feel like, yo, this ain't for me, he trying to make me a fan of Dr. York. I believe this. I don't. Fine. Okay. I don't have no hate. All of this is sent I shook to Rashad Jamal and any of our brothers that are here and sisters that are here, because you ain't heard from the sisters yet. I know y'all out there. It's definitely y'all time. Y'all better be ready, because the brother's going to be teaching a lot less. Okay, y'all going to have to speak a lot more. Women, y'all know y'all got something to say. You don't think we can hear you, all right? Just speak. And those who's supposed to hear, we're going to hear. But we're going to need y'all to do that, okay? Because only y'all going to be able to bring about certain information or affirmation that allow us to activate. Y'all need to be teaching languages. Y'all need to be teaching the sciences and putting your thoughts on paper. You know what I mean? Speak more, all right? Like the sister Queen of Fool was saying, the brothers, when the women get in their power, or really not when they get in their power, when they reveal their power. There's really, if you smart enough, you'll know ain't one shit we could do about it anyway if you had a problem. You know what I mean? This is gonna happen. This is nature. Even down to what people think is the less conscious women. Let me tell you something. It don't matter if the woman is from the hood, from the gutter, from Appalachian, Ohio, from Beverly Hills. It don't matter if she's from Egypt. The woman in the room will be more conscious or procious than any man, just based off of her nature. So you got to let it happen. If the women are saying, yo, we're not dating no broke niggas, that's not a bad thing, family. It's just saying they want the brothers to step up and take control of the resources. All right? When you take control over the resources, then you start assuming your position as gods. It's just they're naturally being pushed to push you to become a better you, because you got to really put in a lot of work, especially as a man, to activate it. We need the sisters to do that too. So I'm looking forward to the new day. I'll see y'all all there. All right. Those of you who make it. And we're going to be standing there on that mount. All right. The master teacher, Dr. Arcaze York, is on the way. And we want all our brothers who are our brothers to be up out of the belly of the beast. And we want y'all out of prison too. Okay. All of us. We want everybody up out of there. Okay. And then we'll be able to see the new heaven and new earth. All right. I shook.
Shook, man. Peace to everybody, man. I thank y'all boys for tuning in. And Phase One, I'm gonna ask you, you want me to keep this live up on Instagram too, or you just want me to post it on YouTube?
You can do both. I don't mind. Some people might rather come through Instagram,
Okay.
so you can do both. You know what I mean, I'll just say to you, family, just hold on, man. You know what I mean? I know it's a whole nother vortex you don't walk through as a father. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I know people, have their own opinions about whatever you got going on in your life. I tell you, just remember the gift that is life. Whatever you put on the canvas that is your child, all right? Whatever you put into the canvas that is your child, wherever you lead them, you're also leading you. Whatever you give them that allows for their genes to be strengthened, all right? Because hopefully you will want them to be, or willfully you will want them to be better than you, to be stronger than you and wiser than you. That's how you know you're winning, when you get stronger in your genes, all right? I speak life over you, your wife, and your child. I speak life over y'all, that all of you are able to hear and make a transformation in time, and I want it to be in such a way that you will be able to look and see them shining with you, glowing with you. All right. So just remember, as your child gets stronger, you're getting stronger. Make sure that they are healthy, right? Make sure that they make the right decisions, and make sure that they do what you will say. You look back and say, man, I wish I would have did that. Like guide them or lead them to be able to do what you're saying you wish you would have done. And then remember that they're going to make their own decisions also as their genes express. You know what I mean? Don't stress it too much. I'm not even a father. I'm just telling you, don't stress it too much. Leave room for the Most High. Leave room for divine to show you what you're being taught through this walk you're taking, and just be grateful, family. I'm grateful for you that the passage was safe, and you have a reflection of you now, for you to be able to look into yourself more and say, who am I? What am I? That's another thing. People go look and say, Dr. York on YouTube, Dr. York, who and what are you? That's a real good one to start with, right? Off the tones alone. Surround him by the good. I already know you're probably doing that anyway. The frequencies, the positive frequencies, keep it on the up and up. You know what I mean? And raise them into the true light. And watch what happens. It's a beautiful thing. Don't nobody be afraid of any of this stuff. It's a beautiful thing. We on a good path, a great path. It's a short one, All right, because a lot is about to happen in the next 5 years. Okay, just hold on to that rope and never let go.
Mm.
I shook.
I should, man.